America, where everyone has a voice, but too many fail to speak. Too many don't know the foundation of our nation, have never read the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, or the Articles of Confederation, and fail to end up in a voting booth. It's time for change. Welcome to the Voice of Young America with Justin Austin, a platform for young America to voice their ideals and have meaningful dialogue on politics, economics, and social issues. Connect at thevoiceofyoungamerica.org. Now, the host of The Voice of Young America, Justin Austin.
Welcome to the Voice of Young America. I'm your star host, Justin Austin. Thank you, folks, for tuning in to another week. We always appreciate it. And as we always start off our show, all glory be to God. Thank you for allowing us to be here and to do this. How we're going to get started today. What's been resonating with me this week, and it's always from conversations with people. It's always from things that I experience. I don't just pull things out of thin air. I really do try to get a vibe from the people, and the vibe that I've been getting politically is that people are knocking America first like it's a bad thing, and it's not. President Trump, he's not a perfect man. He's not a perfect president. He is the president, and he is the guy that we need at this moment. We had an opportunity to select anyone 35 years or older who's been in the country as a citizen for at least 7 years. And we did. We selected that person. His name is Donald J. Trump. And he's been doing big things for over 35 years, people. So if you want to know his background, you already know it. And you know that he's the man for the job that we need right now. Now, what I want to talk about in reference to that is you have natural law, you have supernatural law, and you have human rules. But we're going to focus on natural law. And natural law dictates that America does come first. That is natural law. And you can't get beyond that, because the way that it's natural law is because the president is in charge of America, the United States of America. He's not in charge of Canada. He's not in charge of Great Britain. He's not in charge of China, Indonesia, any other country, any other continent, however you want to put it. That's not his job. His job is to represent America. So for him to say America first, people are like, oh my gosh, what is he doing? Well, he's doing his job. If you remember correctly, Mr. Obama, when he became president, he went what they call the apology tour. That's not Donald Trump. We don't need an apology tour. We need America first. You know why? Because we have an imbalance. Those who tell you that America first is a bad thing, will they tell you the numbers of the trade imbalance? Will they tell you that the market dictates that this is necessary for America to progress? See, people are always about the now. We have a right now society. We do. We have a right now society. But if you look at what the ECB, European, let me get this right. I want to say the EU, not the ECB, but the EU. The ECB is the European Central Bank. The EU is the European Union. Now, they wanted to get stronger in comparison to who? Superpowers. So why do you think the EU was created? It was not created so people can share lollipops and dance and sing together. No, the EU was created because of the fact they wanted to become stronger against China. They wanted to become stronger against Japan. They wanted to become stronger against America, the United States of America. So that's why they did that. And the reason that it was advantageous for them is because it put their country first. Their country was in if you split up the EU, do you know how hard it would be for some of these countries to survive? So by putting their country first, they decided to become a part of this coalition. One of the things that is not appreciated is the fact that just because you're in a coalition doesn't mean you're not putting your country first. Just because you're in NAFTA or just because you're a part of the World Trade Organization doesn't mean you're not putting your country first. Coalitions are about the best interest of your country, the best interest of Greece, the best interest of United Kingdom, the best interest of Italy, however you want to put it, Romania, whoever. There was their best interest to enter into certain coalitions. Now, when we look at NAFTA, they're like, oh my gosh, how many jobs are going to be lost and all the. No, buddy, NAFTA is only good for America if it's good for America. Natural law dictates that. And you know why? Let's break it down, because this show is about principles and values. It's not about sound bites. It's not about news clips. It's about principles and values. And what's the principle of a country? Well, you form a country so you can protect those within that country. And how do we protect those? First, we start with the Constitution. So it gives a body of laws that everybody can actually be cohesive in. Under this umbrella of laws and rules, people can find cohesion. But at the same time, no country is an island. So due to the fact that we have to do things on a world scale, that means that this president is supposed to do things that are advantageous for America, not advantageous for China. But look at the trade agreements with China. Who is benefiting? Look at the trade surplus. It's not in America. The trade surplus between America and China. We are on the losing end. Come on, guys. Stop being manipulated by sound bites. Now, if you really care, if you really care to comment, first of all, this is what you need to do. Look at the numbers. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Now, if you are a commentator, and not even a commentator, if you're a journalist, I gotta call places out, because this is what they do. People, I'm sure I'm judged, so I'm going to make some judgment statements. Every single morning, I look at different news outlets. I don't watch the news anymore because it's just too much to watch it. So I'm a text guy. I pull the apps up, or I pull it up online so I can not be fed garbage if I don't want to see it. So every day I look at Bloomberg News. Every day. It's disappointing how liberal they are. I've never seen them make one actually objective statement about President Trump. And once again, I began the show. He's not perfect. He's an imperfect man, and he's a pretty good president, but he's still imperfect president. They have not said anything that they say in reference to Trump is always a negative slight. I don't read their Trump articles. I never do. Their headlines tell me bias. Why would you ever seek information or seek knowledge and get it from a biased source? Well, Justin, that means you get your news from Fox News. No, I don't. I look at what the headlines are and I say, you know what, this topic could be of substance, but I know this source is not of substance. So I have to move on and go find where the substance is, because I don't want a skewed view. Or if there's only skewed views out there, I got to read every skewed view and try to find the balance. So if you are a journalist, a commentator, a news anchor, whatever you are, if you're going to tell people that America First is bad, well, tell them why it's bad based on objective numbers. So if you're doing an opinion piece, go ahead, buddy. But if you consider this journalism, don't do it, because you need to lose your job. Bloomberg is so respected. It baffles me that such a respected news source could be so skewed. But then, you look at CNN. For some reason, hold on, let me step back. CNN is not respected. They're popular. Fox News, when Bill and Glenn was there when they had the Rock'em Sock'em team, I thought they were respected. Now they're not respected. They're just another entertainment station. But check this out. I mean, to be honest, if I had to take the big ones, MSNBC, CNBC, Fox News, CNN, I'd watch CNBC over all of them. I like Fox News business. Now, I'm not going to. Fox business is pretty good. CNBC is probably my favorite now. And you know what I mean? But I watch them on mute just because I can get most of my information from the stock ticker that's on the screen. But back to Mr. Trump. America First does not hurt America. America First is the whole principle of natural law. The principle of natural law, if you are a president, you represent the people. You do what's advantageous for the people. If NAFTA is not good for us, okay, we're not doing NAFTA. If the WTO is doing things that's not for us, okay. We have to come to a point where we say it's not always about making friends. I read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Love the book. It's amazing. It tells you a lot. You learn a lot. But at the same time, you can only do so much before it affects your character. Integrity means oneness. It means a single vision. America has to have integrity. Now, you might not like Mr. Trump, but his plans with America First is integrity. Now, let me tell you something else. The market will always respond to natural law. That's why when you have bubbles and when they burst, that's called natural law. When you jump off a building and you go all the way to the ground, that's called natural law. It's gravity. So with that being said, the natural law that comes from America First will be, this reverberation that's going throughout. They're saying once he goes to the G7 or is it G9, G7, people are like, oh, it's going to be tense. Do you really think that Donald Trump cares about walking into a room with people disappointed in him? Don't worry, I'll wait. No. He's used to that. You know why? Deal makers make deals regardless of who's happy and who's sad. Because men lie, women lie, emotions definitely lie, but numbers don't. So this guy is used to making deals. He's used to making people upset, and he's used to closing deals. America First is going to put us in such a position in the next 10 years that we're going to be great again. Now, he won't see all of it to fruition. It may be the next president, but this is the path that we need to be on. This global market is getting more competitive every single day. And if America is not focusing on America and we're trying to make China happy or the EU happy or the World Council happy, we're selling short the present day America, and we're selling short America in perpetuity. We cannot afford to do it, and we won't do it under this administration. You can call it a regime, whatever you want to call it. This is the best thing for us. Oh, come on, guys. Come on. When you go buy a laptop to put in your home, don't you do price comparisons? When you go buy a TV, don't you do price comparisons? When you grocery shop, don't you do price comparisons? Do you say to yourself, man, I'm at Publix today and I want to make sure Publix is happy. So I'm going to pay for something that I know I can get cheaper at Walmart. Don't worry, I'll wait. That won't sound right. You do these things in your home, but if President Trump does it on the biggest scale in the world, he's a bad guy? Oh, I know what it is, right? You guys are moved by sound bites. If someone tells you that President Trump's America's First is hurting people's feelings, what you say to yourself is, well, why is he hurting people's feelings? He's the president. He's supposed to. No. If your feelings get hurt because of principle, that's your problem. Character states and demands that regardless of the circumstance, regardless of those who are in the room, that you stay on a single course. That's what character is. That's what integrity is, that oneness. America needs that integrity now more than now. You don't wait till the world gets bad or America gets bad and then decide to have character. Do you think, come on, okay, peep this, right? So when Mr. Mayweather's in the ring boxing, right? And he's doing this thing and it comes to the 10th round. Do you think that what he did the day before is going to make the difference? No, it's the training he's done for the last 20 years and consistently putting in the grind, consistently with the bag, consistently with the shadow boxing. All of these things have built up for him to, when he gets to the 10th round and his opponent is tired, guess what? He's full of endurance. That's what America, do you think in 20 years, in 10 years, in 50 years, America's just going to be great without us actually starting right now? You don't receive the benefits tomorrow. You receive the benefits from the hard work today, you'll receive them maybe next year or maybe 3 years down the road. For America to be great in perpetuity, America needs to come first and come first consistently. Oh man, you guys gonna wait till the trade deficit is so bad that then you're gonna say, you know what, China, we have been getting the short end of the stick. Can you stop now? No, he's not doing this for today. America First is not about today. America First is about generations. But you're not even worried about that in your home. You're not worried about generations in your home. That's why you let your kids watch TV all day long to Kim Kardashian and listen to Young Yachty and Cardi B, right? Because if you cared about generational strength, You wouldn't be doing that. Donald Trump cares about generations. America First is about the generations of Americans who will lead this country consistently over time. And if we don't make these changes in our school system, in our political bodies, in our homes, we're gonna lose out. What dude, don't you see what China does? China is all about generations. Why do you think that people are in respect of them? Because I don't care what you think, people respect China because they know that regardless of what it is, China's character says China first. So why would we sell ourselves short? Come on, man. America First, Donald Trump, a great president. This is Justin Austin, the voice of Young America. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the voice of Young America with Justin Austin. Connect with Justin online at thevoiceofyoungamerica.org. The voice of Young America on AM 860. The Answer.
Finding skilled and unskilled tradesmen can be a problem, whether it's temporary or long-term. Rose Employment Solutions handles all of your workers' comp needs while responsibly solving your staffing problems. You make the call, they do it all. 813-644-5037. And for the quality tradesmen in search of career growth, full-time hours, and multiple pay options, call Rose Employment Solutions, 813-644-5037. Learn more at rose-emp.com or just stop by their office, 1020 West Bush Boulevard in Tampa.
Ladies of Tampa Bay, are you looking for a whole new hairstyle or just want to take your current look from good to glamorous? It's time to call Tiffany. Whether it's highlights, cut, color, curls, or a wedding or special occasion, Tiffany will make your mess a masterpiece. And don't worry, guys, she does men's cuts too. Tiffany's located in North St. Pete. For an appointment, click on tiffdoeshair.com. That's tiffdoeshair.com or call 727-280-3098. tiffdoeshair.com. Maybe you forgot to pack a lunch or you're just in need of a quick bite. Grab one of Olivia's fresh sandwiches. Try the turkey, ham, Cuban sandwiches, or maybe a delicious breakfast sandwich. Made fresh with quality meats, Olivia's fresh sandwiches can be found at your local gas station or food mart. Need catering for your next meeting or event? Call Olivia's Fresh Sandwiches at 813-516-6851. That's 813-516-6851. Olivia's Fresh Sandwiches, online at oliviasfreshsandwiches.com.
Welcome back to the voice of Young America with Justin Austin. Connect with Justin by email, thevoyatampabay@gmail.com.
Welcome back to the Voice of Young America. I'm your star host, Justin Austin. Thank you guys for staying with us. Let's get into our next segment. We're going to start off with the moment of truth. And the truth is that value is what every business should be targeting. If you look at Apple, if you look at Microsoft, if you look at Walmart, you know, Walmart's when they do their own branding of a product, it's called what? Great value. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow, start with value. Everything else will fall into place. And that is the truth. So let's get into our economic piece, which we're talking about natural law today. Natural law dictates that you bring value. And that's what the moment of truth is about as well. But it's the value, I think, is starting to be missed in so many ways. So the best example I can show you is music. I'm such a music fan. Like, I mean, I literally die about music. And just as a side note, we're trying to work on bringing a Christian hip hop music program to the area. That's something that's missing. We talked about that on the previous show. So hopefully, if God blesses it, we'll be able to do so. But when you look at music and the value, man, I mentioned Bob Marley, right? Bob Marley's huge. He's lived beyond his time. You think about that, right? He is one of the very few artists who have lived beyond his time in so many different ways. Not only his music, his theme of his life has lived on after death. More than Tupac, more than Biggie, more than Elvis. You can find Bob Marley in the front of a smoke shop. You can find Bob Marley on the front of a t-shirt. You can find Bob Marley music playing in different locations. Bob Marley has surpassed his time. His legacy lives on. Why is that? Value. Value. When the greats, the truly greats, the ones with the capital P, phenomenal, when they do something, it lives beyond their last breath. Steve Jobs, he will live beyond his last breath. Why? Value. The value that Mr. Jobs or the value that Mr. Marley brought to the market is unparalleled. You don't find that. Who can you compare right now to Bob Marley? Not Drake, not Lil Yachty, not Justin Bieber, not Miley Cyrus, whoever. Madonna doesn't even touch Bob Marley, and she's made millions off her music. But when she goes, and God bless her soul, come on. Now I would say Whitney Houston, she brought value. I mean, I can't sing worth anything, so I'm not going to do that to you guys. If I wasn't tone deaf, I would try to drop some Whitney on you. I don't want to close it. I'm not even going to go. All right. But she brought so much value that she will live beyond. She is one of those people use terms so much they just dilute them. Like they use the word, I love yogurt, I love my wife in the same sentence. Is ridiculous. But when you think about the word iconic, Bob Marley. Iconic, Steve Jobs. I'm talking about people who are already passed, but their legacy is iconic. Justin Bieber, he's not an icon. He's not an icon. Even Diddy's not an icon. He's a living icon, but he won't be an after-death icon. That's what I mean. What do they... Man, you have to look... Okay, so we're talking about value here. Let's not get off track. Value. And I was using music just as an example of value. And the craziest part is that natural law dictates that the market will respond, right? The market sets the tone. So let's look at it like this. So we can definitely say that artists like Whitney Houston, artists like Bob Marley bring value. And that value surpasses their last breath. Now, the reason why their value surpasses their last breath is because what they put out, the product that they put out resonated so much in the spirits of men that they continue to hold on to it in perpetuity. Now, the things that are being put out today will not carry on in perpetuity, but the damage will. The damage they're doing to the market. For the market to be able to respond to Cardi B, for the market to be able to respond to these one-hit wonders and all these other quick flame fellas, that lets you know that the spirit of man has also been diluted as well. Because now, of course, everything's generational. It's definitely relative. So I can't say if you came out with some of this new music back in the day, of course, they're going to reject it because it was just different. It was generational. But at the same time, where do you find quality artists? I don't really listen to secular music, secular rap in particular. I listen to, country, really a little bit of pop, but mostly just Christian music. And and I'm just using that as an example of value, people. So I want you to run with me here. The whole point is that if these weak, catchy tunes are resonating with people so much that they're downloading it to their spirit by repetitiveness. That's how you download something to your spirit, because it's repetitively played. Practice makes perfect. So with that being said, how can your spirit respond to something of such little, not even any substance? Because people aren't looking for value anymore. People are looking for some emotional, we all like music to match our emotion, but it's so flighty. Your emotions have become so flighty. The music you listen to is flighty. But let's take it out of that realm. What other products are people pushing at you that have no value, but they're selling a lot of it? I mean, a lot of it. I'm not knocking Metro PCS because I have a Metro PCS phone. So let's just say this, right? I'm not looking for value with my phone. I'm not, because if I looked for value, I wouldn't be on Metro PCS. I'm looking for the economy of it, right? Because when I go into Publix, or if I go in the Walmart, if I walk into the back of the store, the call drops. Or if I'm at certain places in the city, I live in St. Petersburg, so if I'm in certain places in the city, like everything starts buffering, nothing wants to work, because I decided to go with economy over quality. You get what you pay for. Never forget that. And so so if we even run with that, you get what you pay for. You get out what you put in. So what does that say about the American public, the American consumer, that when people aren't putting out quality anymore, they're just putting out economy, and that hurts in the long run? That's the whole purpose of this conversation. The fact that we're going with economy over quality, we are downgrading ourselves in perpetuity, because that means the market is now being flooded with products that have that have very, very little lifespan. So the turnover is so much greater. So we're not investing in products that are going to be around for a while. And then we're starting a new generation of entrepreneurs, right? Every generation comes with its entrepreneurs. And what these entrepreneurs are doing, they're creating economy products instead of quality products, which is all good if you're chasing a buck. But natural law dictates, if you flood your economy with knockoff products that aren't of quality, at some point, you're going to feel the burn. America, we're going to feel the burn. We're going to feel the burn in our spirits from this. Music is directly downloaded to your spirit. Let me say that one more time so people really get what I'm saying. Music is one of the things that goes directly to your spirit. So if you're getting things that are not of quality and is going directly to your spirit, you're damaging yourself and you're going to feel the burn. And that goes with a lot of things. Like, if you're a smoker like myself, that goes directly to your lungs, and I'm going to feel the burn. Some days I wake up with a burn and I got to stop. I'm going to get on the patch, to be honest with you. But these are things we have to be mindful of. If we're not, okay, let me put it in the simplest way. Average people don't think about their future. The reason I want to stop smoking, the reason I'm going to stop smoking is because I'm looking at my future. I'm looking at the example I'm setting for my stepdaughter. I'm looking at the example I would be setting for my future children, or my nieces and nephews, or those around me. So I care about the future. So therefore, I need to do things today to protect the future. What protects your future? The same thing that protects your talent, the same thing that protects your family, the same thing that will protect your product is character. So let's look at it like this. We need to get away from these things. Our economy cannot be based off things of no substance. Those are called bubbles. They will burst, and our economy will feel such a burn that the Great Recession will look like it was a fun time for people. All those jobs that were lost, that's not going to be nothing compared to what's going to happen in perpetuity if we keep putting out these trash products. We have new entrepreneurs that are coming out, and they're thinking that is the business model. The first thing that a young entrepreneur needs to know is that value comes first. Value. My wife's a hairdresser. I love to say that. I got married recently, and I just love the way it comes off my lips. My wife, she's so beautiful. I love her so much. Hope you're listening, darling. And my wife is a hairstylist. And then so the product she uses has to be of quality, because these women are going to go home and they're going to try to rock these hairdos for 3 weeks to 6 weeks for some of them. And if she's not using quality products, she's not going to get return customers. They're going to be disappointed. Because they don't have, people not throwing all kinds of money out just to get their hair done every week. So what I'm saying to you is that if we're breeding the next generations of entrepreneurs and we're teaching them to shortchange people with economy over quality, then we are not only putting bad products into the market, we're putting bad principles into the market. And natural law dictates if you jump off a building, gravity will pull you down. What do you think is going to happen with this type of mind state, if this type of principles? How can we be great on an economic scale, on a world scale, if we're not producing quality? Oh, people talk about the rich and the poor, right? It's always this conversation. Well, the rich are one thing, but let's talk about the wealthy. The wealthy, to have wealth means that you've reached a status so high that your family for generations will eat off the product that you created. The first that first product. When you get wealth, it feeds perpetuity. It feeds generations. How can you feed generations? Quality. You have to have something of such value that it will allow your family to be fed for generations. Average people do not think about their future. So that's why you're not going to be wealthy. You might not even make it to rich, but rich, you can go broke. It's hard to go broke on wealth. So how do you get to a place of wealth? Create value. Look at billionaires. I tell you, people, if you don't have a Forbes magazine, but you have a Facebook account, you're a loser. This is real talk. Average people don't think about their future. Average people don't think about value. Now, when it comes to my cell phone, I'm very average, but I'll take that one on the chin. Don't be average with your family. Don't be average about your future. Don't be average about your growth and your potential. Young people, you're listening to me. Do not be fed these lies. Quality and value creates wealth. Wealth of character, quality and value. Wealth in dollar terms, quality and value. These are things that you have to create in your life, and it has to be an emergency. Make it an emergency for your business to create quality. Make it an emergency for your character to have quality. Make it an emergency for your family to function on quality. Man, we can go all day about this, but the truth is, value is lasting. Create value in your lives. This is the Voice of Young America. I'm your star host, Justin Austin. We'll be back shortly. Go eat one of Olivia's fresh sandwiches.
You're listening to the Voice of Young America with Justin Austin. Connect with Justin online at thevoiceofyoungamerica.org. The Voice of Young America on AM 860. The Answer.
Ladies of Tampa Bay, are you looking for a whole new hairstyle or just want to take your current look from good to glamorous? It's time to call Tiffany. Whether it's highlights, cut, color, curls, or a wedding or special occasion, Tiffany will make your mess a masterpiece. And don't worry, guys, she does men's cuts too. Tiffany's located in North St. Pete. For an appointment, click on tiffdoeshair.com. That's tiffdoeshair.com or call 727-280-3098. tiffdoeshair.com. Maybe you forgot to pack a lunch or you're just in need of a quick bite. Grab one of Olivia's fresh sandwiches. Try the turkey, ham, Cuban sandwiches, or maybe a delicious breakfast sandwich. Made fresh with quality meats, Olivia's fresh sandwiches can be found at your local gas station or food mart. Need catering for your next meeting or event? Call Olivia's Fresh Sandwiches at 813-516-6851. That's 813-516-6851. Olivia's Fresh Sandwiches, online at oliviasfreshsandwiches.com.
Finding skilled and unskilled tradesmen can be a problem, whether it's temporary or long-term. Rose Employment Solutions handles all of your workers' comp needs while responsibly solving your staffing problems. You make the call, they do it all. 813-644-5037. And for the quality tradesmen in search of career growth, full-time hours, and multiple pay options, call Rose Employment Solutions, 813-644-5037. Learn more at rose-emp.com or just stop by their office, 1020 West Bush Boulevard in Tampa.
Welcome back to the Voice of Young America with Justin Austin. Connect with Justin by phone. Call 813-516-6851. 813-516-6851.
Welcome back to the Voice of Young America. I'm your star host, Justin Austin. We appreciate you guys staying with us. We're getting into our third segment, and this is always our society piece. And we talk about things that are really of substance. And, you know, of course, politics is of substance. Of course, economics is of substance. But to me, you can't reach the true height of politics or the true height of economics without talking about society, because that's what overshadows these whole things. And what overshadows society is the family, and we will always keep it real. if you're new to the show, if you're just tuning in, the whole purpose of the Voice of Young America is to give an outlet to the voices of Young America. Now, of course, we have interviews, we bring people on, and of course you hear my voice most of the time. So you might be thinking, Justin, it sounds like the voice, not the voice is. But the thing of it is that when I come to the station and when I do the show, it's about the voices that I've already spoken with, the voices that I've heard speak out to me, and I'm vicariously sharing these things that they're giving me. I don't want you to think this is Justin's show. It's not. It's the people's show. And I like to think I speak for the people. And if you disagree, please let me know. The Voya, the Voice of Young America.org, the Voya Tampa Bay on Twitter, on Instagram. You have my phone number, 813-516-6851. You have my email, thevoyatampabay@gmail.com. You can reach me. This is not about me. This is about us. I live in a society. You live in a society. I'm going from human experience, human interaction. And a lot of the things that I share with you guys is because these things are yearning inside of me. I don't have notes in front of me when I do my show. I don't take notes. I don't do any of that because you know why? I'm coming from what's inside of me, what's been deposited into my spirit, what's been deposited into my heart. So I don't need notes because this is all the way real. I can only give you what's inside of me. If I had notes, I'm giving you a little bit of me, but a little bit of something else. I want to give you all of me, which is all my experiences and all my conversations. So let's just want to put that out for the people. And since we're talking about natural law dictates that fathers have to be great for the family to be great, for the community to be great, and for the country to be great. And if you listen to the show since January 20th when we started, and just thank God Almighty that we've been able to do this for 6 months. To be honest with you, this is the grace of God at its finest for us to be here today, still doing what we desire to do because God put it into our hearts. If you've been listening since January 20th, you would say, Justin, you constantly talk about make fathers great again. And it's not because I'm knocking mothers. Mothers are beautiful. My wife, who's a mother, she is beautiful. My mother's beautiful. Your mother's beautiful. Not knocking that. But make fathers great again is natural law. Natural law. And one of the things that brings knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is the observation of the wild. The wild were set in place by, this is so beautiful, guys. I can't even tell you what it does to my spirit to even talk about it. The wild have been set in place by God. God created the wild. He tuned them up to a certain way that birds will fly, fish will swim, lions will roar. But for people to get understanding, one of the things that they do is they take the knowledge of the wild and apply it to other areas because it's natural law. And if you look at and you study natural law, it would tell you fathers have to be great. That's what it tells you. Now you have certain type of animals where they branch off, like the male will come mate with the female, and then the male will disappear because that's the way he was designed, and then the mother will raise that child to a certain point, and then they go their separate ways. But if you look at any of the animals who go in packs, come on now, you gotta watch some Nat Geo sometime. God has placed things in a certain order for it to function. I was listening to a sermon by Dr. Miles Monroe, and if anybody says, Justin, you're just repeating what someone else says, Solomon told you back in the day, nothing new under the sun. So if I sound like I'm repeating what somebody said, we all do. We all constantly repeat what somebody says. It's nothing new under the sun. Okay, so just take that and run with it. Dr. Miles Monroe said that the laws that God created was not to hurt us. God created natural law and spiritual law because that is the blueprint for success. Any book that you read on how to become economically successful, they give you laws. They don't give you rules because rules can be adjusted. Rules can be bent. They give you laws. They give you natural laws. If you read Mr. Trump's The Art of the Deal, he gives you natural laws to follow. So when you look at the family, anybody, and this is what burns me up. This burns me up. Anybody tells you that you don't need a father is a liar. That person is spewing evil. Any woman who says she doesn't need a man, she's a liar. Now, you don't need a bad man. You don't need a bum. I totally agree. If you're going to say anything, I don't need a bad man. I don't need an ungodly man. I totally agree. But you do need a man. You need a holy man. You need a God-fearing man. You need a loving man. That's what you need. You don't need a bum. I totally agree with that. But there's no woman on this earth that has felt the love of a holy, God-fearing man and said, I don't need you. Now, the only women that would tell you that they don't need a man are the ones who get the bums off the street because their character is weak and you attract what you are. So it's most of the time it's not by accident. Check yourself in the mirror. That's enough said right there. But so no woman has met a God-fearing man who loved her from the bottom of her feet to the top of her hair and said, I don't need this man. There's no woman that ever met a guy who was so in fear and held God in such reverence and was a little Christ in his home. And she said, I don't need you. It was no woman who ever met a man who substituted, who sacrificed, and who sanctified her and said, after all of that, I don't need a man. No, baby, you haven't met that gentleman. But if you follow Christ, he'll take you there. So but natural law dictates that a child being brought up, especially a male child, oh man, he needs that example of a father. You know, even in the wild, just look at the wild, look at the lions. Who protects? I mean, you can have the lioness. She tries to do her best to protect the cubs, but guess who? If you see that dude come up with that really big mane, you know that dude with that really large mane and that chest sticking out. That's who she's gonna look to. You know she's ferocious. The lioness is ferocious. She's a beast. But guess who's more ferocious? Guess what? If the biggest lioness on the block walks up and starts trying to protect her cubs, you think she's going to scare away other males? Nope. But when that dude with that large mane and that chest stick out with that loud roar, when he steps up, guess what? Respect. This is natural law. And Justin, you're telling us everything we already know. If you know it, live by it. And I'm not saying this because I'm perfect. I say this because this burns inside of me. I did not grow up with a father. My father passed when I was 6 months old. My mother didn't get married until I was out of the home. I was in foster care from 14 to 16. I didn't live a perfect life. I grew up in a low socioeconomic area. Like, I can tell you all these. This is human experience. I'm not perfect. I wake up every day at 4:30. The first thing that I do is I pray to God and I read my scripture. And I do these things because I have so many responsibilities out in the world, but I cannot achieve anything if I don't first if I don't fuel my spirit. And then I fuel my body through meditation, stretching, and running. And then my wife cooks me a great breakfast. So that you see that spiritual, that physical, that mental, all those things play a part that gives me energy to serve my day. But you know what also I do? I know that I'm the leader of my home. So I read every day. We read a scripture. We read a chapter out of the Bible, the family. We read the Bible together and we pray together because that's what the head of the household is supposed to do. He's not only supposed to feed himself, he's supposed to feed his family, not only physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So if you are a father, first of all, if you're not there, you don't know Christ. And if you are a father, if you're in your home and you're not feeding your family spiritually, but you're sending them out into the world, who are you? You're a male, but you're not a man. This world is competitive. This world is cold. This world is difficult. Why would you send your child? Why? Okay. Great example, right? Your child says, you know what, Dad, I want to be a boxer. And you're like, wow, my son wants to be a boxer. That's fantastic. So, but guess what? What if your son was like, Dad, I want to box. And Dad was just like, you know what? Boom, today we're going to go put you in the ring. You're going to do your first fight. No training, no nothing. But you're going to go do how long do you think that kid would last in the boxing ring? No training at all. You wouldn't do that, right? No one would say, I'm going to put my child in the boxing ring, but not give him any type of training. Why would you do that with your kids in real life? You put them out there in the world, but you don't give them any. You put them in the classroom and you don't read to them at home, but you wonder why they're not doing good in school. Your kid's going to go out there and meet a boy, meet a girl, and they're going to say, I like this woman. I think she's a good woman. But you're not going to train him up in character so he knows how to treat that woman. Every man on this earth is a leader. And he's not a leader based on happenstance. He's a leader based on natural law. Now, everybody doesn't rise up to their expectations. We know that. Everybody's not perfect. But the seed that God gave man was to lead. And the first place he leads in his home. And how do you lead? How do you protect your home? It's the same way you protect your job. It's the same way you protect a product. It's the same way you protect your career. It's the way you protect anything is through character. Make Fathers Great Again is talking about character. It's about watering the seed that God's planted inside of you through knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Solomon told us a very long time ago, there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new. So we're not looking for a man to reinvent the wheel. We're just looking for that man to study how the wheel was made. The wheel was made perfectly by God. So all you need to do is follow the blueprint. Hard work, yes. You might miss some sleep. You might miss a couple NBA Finals games, whatever the case may be. But stop sending your family out into the world unfed. You wouldn't send a boxer into the ring without training, but you'll send your wife to work without love? You'll send your kid out into the world without spiritual knowledge? You'll send your daughter into the world without the example of what a man is? Do you know how much a woman yearns for the love of a man? I didn't even understand this until I read the book, The Power of a Praying Husband. This keeps me aligned. If you ever pick up this book, read each chapter 3 times before you move on. I tell you no lie, because it's hard work. But she stated, this lady Stormy, she said that the sound of a male's voice is so powerful, and that's not something I ever realized. When it's in love, it's the most soothing thing ever. When it's in anger, it's one of the most horrifying sounds ever. I did not know that. You know, you got to get that woman's perspective. It'll definitely humble you and enlighten you. Men, you were made to love women. Do you know that in the Bible, it doesn't tell you the wives to love the husbands? It says, husbands, love your wife as Jesus loved the church. Wives, respect your husbands in all things. Man, I'm not preaching a sermon, guys. I'm just talking about natural law. Why is it natural? Because, like, if you don't want to believe me, turn on Nat Geo. Just go outside and watch the birds and the bees. How about that? This is not anything new. Make Fathers Great Again is based on natural law. If you want success in your marriage, if you want success in your family, you want success in your job, if you want success in your country, follow natural law. Let me take that back. The laws to success have already been given. Your talent has already been given. Your family most likely you've already received all these things. Water them with your character. As we started in the beginning, integrity means oneness. Be of a single mind, to love, to honor, to cherish. This is Justin Austin, your humble servant, the voice of Young America. We love you. We'll see you next week. God bless you.
You've been listening to The Voice of Young America with Justin Austin. The Voice of Young America relies on committed Americans like you to stand with us. If you're frustrated with the lack of real information being delivered to the next generation, then support Justin's efforts. Connect on social media, online at thevoiceofyoungamerica.org. Email thevoyatampabay@gmail.com. And be sure to join us next Saturday evening at 6 for The Voice of Young America here on AM 860. The Answer.